I'm Ashley Miller, the Superintendent for Rhodes School for the Performing Arts. This is Ms. Calhoun and Mrs. Winslow, and this is Chalk Talk. So first, we would like to introduce everyone to our leaders, Ms. Monet Calhoun and Ms. Lakesha Winslow. So just kind of thinking about the state of education and just where we are as a state and at RSPA. What do you think is going on at the campus level, and what can our stakeholders, our parents, scholars, teachers, community members, what can they do to help?
Well, one huge thing I would like to see parents contribute in, Ms. Miller, is just attendance. We have really experienced poor attendance, some days as low as in the 80s, with our children not attending school. And the thing is, if kids are not in school, there is no learning going on for those kids. And that doesn't look beneficial in the long run at all. You know, this whole COVID thing has happened. We understand it. We deal with it. And it's time to move forward. Kids need to be back in school so that they can have the opportunity to learn.
It's funny you mentioned that because that's just happening across the state of Texas. There are record low numbers in attendance, and we're talking to the commissioner about that, and he knows and he definitely cares. What about you, Ms. Winslow?
I think that our parents need to realize the sense of urgency, period, with education. We are educating kids that are a year and a half behind, and I think parents still think that we are in our COVID times, which we are, but not as strict as it was, you know, in 2020 when it first hit. And so our parents are not taking things seriously, homework not getting done, you know, and being advocates, you know, or just helping the teachers when we're trying to advocate for, hey, your kid needs to do these things, turn in work, you know, showing up to school, getting to school on time. I mean, they're bringing kids to school extremely late sometimes. And so they're missing gaps of things, or everyone is in this state of, they have so much going on, and we understand that it's even on my campus of picking kids up early from school, 2:30, school ends at 3:45. So just wanting parents to know and understand that we are still held accountable for a state exam, especially at our third grade students on up, and that we need them to have that same sense of urgency that we have to educate their kids and close gaps, because that's where we are. We're really working with our students a year and a half, kind of, so to speak, behind the curveball.
Yes, I do see things differently now that I have a student or a scholar in school. So, you know, just have to speak up for the parents. We are tired. So just like the teachers are tired, I mean, you know, we're in the great resignation. You know, burnout is definitely real. And so not just for the teachers, but also for our parents. They get up, they go to work, you know, they have to meet the same demands, you know, that our teachers have to meet, but just, you know, in a different arena. So I think that, you know, people are tired. And so that's kind of leads me to what I'm focusing on, which is teacher burnout, and just trying to see, you know, you guys know I talk to you all the time. What can we do to incentivize the teachers? What can we do to make them happy? How can we give them more time? And that's just, again, across the state of Texas. Another thing I've seen is just, you know, parents looking for different options. So now I'm having to talk to people about what is a charter school, and, you know, it is public education, and we have to follow all the same guidelines. We get audited just like every other district. So, you know, I'm having to have those conversations a lot more because parents are looking for options, and, you know, we have plenty of them at the Rhodes School. So just kind of switching the topics a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about the Amazon grant that the Humboldt campus has?
Oh, yes. The Humboldt campus participates with Amazon, and I do believe it's Future Engineers with the grant where we are given a curriculum for technology. Right now it's geared toward our middle school 6th through 8th graders, but hopefully this upcoming year we're going to include our elementary grade students, and so it'll be across, not just at Humboldt campus, across the campus, but we're also planning to include our other campus, our North Shore campus, and so throughout the district they will be participating in the Amazon Future Engineers program, to where they prepare them for coding, you know, things that the kids are very much interested in right now. So yes, it's been fun.
That's great. Yeah. I know we were talking about the digital age, but I also feel like, well, this goes hand in hand. Everything is moving towards STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. And so with that, and for us to kind of stay, ahead of the curveball, I'm moving towards moving RSPA to a STEAM school. So that includes the arts factor along with science, technology, and engineering and math. So while things are definitely moving towards technology, another big thing is everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone. I even have a YouTube channel. So everyone wants to be an engineer. They're thinking, hey, you know what? I don't need to go to college. I can kind of do this thing on my own. So what do you tell those students? Because, we're in the field of education. We love education and we believe, that it has a place. So what are you telling our scholars about that?
I just had this situation literally yesterday or the day before in our after-school tutorial program that we give the kids. Because I have so many of the, middle school kids that always respond, oh, I'm going to be a professional athlete. I'm going to own my own company. So I say this, do you understand what owning your own company entails?
Yes.
Do you know where are you going to get the finances for owning your own company? When you make it to the league, how will you maintain or keep those monies? Because haven't we all heard of a professional ball player who went broke, right?
Yes.
What do you think happened? And that they get to thinking and pondering, and the response I give them is that someone who's well educated took their monies legally. Yes. Legally, and so then that brings about the importance and the urgency that we need with education. And yes, you can do all those great things. And yes, we have, men and women out here who have done well for themselves without, a college degree or what have you. But if I was a gambler, would I gamble on that? What are the odds of that happening, And so the thing is, you obtain that success, you become that entrepreneur with what you learn from college. And most of these entrepreneurs that are going out here that don't have a college degree, they do some self-educating. Mm-hmm. Where do they get those skills from? From school. So you may not need a certain class. You may not need to go to a class to know how to bake because someone at home has taught you those skills, but you definitely need the business side that education will give you. That's my take.
And I think they just don't understand, kind of like what you're saying, what goes into really, making your own brand. When I was doing my research on the top YouTube families, I found out, this lady has a marketing degree. Mm-hmm. So that's why she, she has all these, followers and everything. So it's like, okay, definitely have to go back to school and, get
and the thing is, another point that I make to them, to look up how many businesses are started and fail. Everybody who started a business, everybody that has a DBA, that doesn't mean that they're successful. You can have a business and still be in the red. Right. You know what I'm saying? So having a business or owning a business or being an entrepreneur does not always mean that you're successful and your business is successful. You need the skills in order to make that business successful, to become a successful entrepreneur.
What do you tell your babies at the elementary level about, getting ready for college, getting ready for, having a career or, military?
And so I completely agree with what Ms. Calhoun said. Everything is so true. And I've had those conversations with some of my sixth graders who are middle school, but, not in traditional middle school setting. For the younger kids, we talk about college and careers right now so they can understand that they're both important. We need people to be our bakers. We need people to be our mechanics. We need people to be, in those fields that you don't necessarily think you need college for. And I tell them, even if they don't go to college, they have furthered their education somewhere. If it's a technical school, that's still school. If you're earning, certifications or things like that, you still have to always include that education there, because they're like, I don't have to go to college, because they do see we're in a battle against what the perception is and not necessarily the reality of the businesses that fail. And so for them to see social media, of course, glamifies everything. It makes kids just believe that this is it and this is what I want. They don't know the hard work behind it. So just doing research and having real conversations with them. Our career fair that's coming up is going to be an amazing opportunity for our kids to have those conversations with real entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
business people, some self-employed businesses and some where they work for companies and corporations so that they can talk and ask those questions. So our kids that are coming, we're sitting with them and prepping them with some questions so they can come and ask questions at their level, and then some questions like, let's dig a little deeper and see, what do they really make a year? How much is profit and loss? Because those are mathematical terms that they understand. And so just having real conversations with kids and then trying to prepare them as much as we can for when they do encounter someone. What do you really want to know about it? What research have you done about that career? And, don't always want to do something because you see someone else doing it. You have to figure out what you want to try to do for you. Even at a young age, I always tell them, even though I didn't end up being a lawyer, that's what I wanted to do since I was 2. And I did go to law school. And when I got to law school and I went through law school, I realized that's the opposite of what I really wanted to do. And I said, so you can have a focus. I said, but you just have to try to pursue what's for you. Absolutely.
One of the things that I think we do so well here at Rose is just exposing our scholars to different things. We're taking them on field experiences. We're showing them, just like our STEM day we had yesterday.
Exactly.
Hey, you can be an engineer. Did you know what a chemical engineer was?
Exactly.
Did you know, all the different types of engineers?
Yeah.
So I think that's a great thing. So we're coming to the end. Thank you for joining us for our first episode of Chalk Talk.